What's up, guys? In today's video, I want to talk about the harsh truth of Airbnb investing that so many people overlook. No one talks about this, and I come across this all the time when I'm talking about people that are either just getting started or that have already even bought short-term rental properties. And this is a harsh truth that you really should have your eyes wide open to before you get started investing in short-term rental properties, because it's not all sunshine and rainbows. Let's talk about it. So, the first thing that I see people doing that they just don't realize about short-term rental investing is that there's tens of thousands of dollars of mistakes, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of mistakes that you can very easily make if you are not experienced enough. That's why I so strongly recommend working with a mentor. Now, I get it, I'm biased. I do mentor people and show them how to invest successfully in short-term rental properties. But it's just insane to me that someone would consider investing tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars of their hard-earned money into something that they don't have expertise in yet. Even me, when I first got started buying my very first short-term rental property, it was after 6 years of experience managing properties, consulting on them, even writing the book Airbnb for Dummies, working with the likes of Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And even then, I realized that I didn't have the expertise that I needed in the real estate investing side of the equation. And so I partnered up with my now business partner, Riley, who mentors along with me for all of our students, because for 6 years before that, he was getting all the know-how and experience on real estate investing and has done countless deals, renovation projects, bought single-family, multi-family properties in multiple different markets, and was coaching around that as well, had this tremendous expertise. And if you don't have that expertise on both fronts, then there's just so many mistakes that you can make along the way. Like, for example, the first property that I ever got alongside Riley, we ended up negotiating $100,000 off of the asking price. And that was in a market where every single property was going for over asking. I never would have known that I could negotiate $100,000 off of the asking price. Everyone else in the market was just passing this property up, and no one realized that they could get this property for an incredible deal. Not only that, but there were things that came up in the inspection that allowed us to negotiate that down that I would have had to come across as just an expense item had I not known that going into it. And the thing is, I see this happening all the time. I talk to people who buy properties and they overpay for them. Just yesterday, I was on a call with someone who overpaid for their property, so much so that their lender, when they went to get financing on the property, wouldn't even give them a mortgage on the full purchase price because they bought it for more than the property was worth. And what happens when you do that is the lender's only going to loan what the property is actually worth, and you have to make up the difference. So they ended up overspending on the property in their own cash by a couple $100,000 and then didn't have money for the things that they needed to make the property perform well. Not only that, but even if you buy the right property, you risk buy the property for the right price, I should say, you risk just buying the wrong property. These people bought a property that I was just speaking to yesterday that in a best case scenario will be cash flowing 15 to 20%. But in a reasonable scenario, it'll be at break even, and worst case, it could actually be cash flowing negative. That's the opposite of what you want. You really want to be buying properties that are going to cash flow positive with very little effort and hit that 15 to 20% cash on cash return in a reasonable, easy to achieve scenario. You want your worst case scenario to be breaking even, not your reasonable scenario or your best case scenario. And sure, we can help people who have bought a property to make it perform as well as possible and get that cash flow going so that they can scale. But ultimately, you really want to start working with a mentor, working with a coach before you actually buy the property, because not only can they help you to buy the property for a better price and get a really good deal on that property, make sure that you're building in tens, if not $100,000 in equity right from the start and improving your ROI right from the start and minimizing your downside right from the start. But they can also help you to make sure that you're gonna buy the right property to begin with, that it's actually the right property that's gonna perform well. And then the other mistake I see people making is that they just leave money on the table. even if they get the right deal on the property, even if they buy the right property, the reality is they've probably never done this before. They don't know how to optimize an Airbnb listing. They don't know how to make it show up high in the search results. They don't know how to dial in their pricing strategy to make sure they're not leaving money on the table. And so as a result, they end up leaving thousands of dollars on the table every single year. I see this happen routinely. I see people leaving literally $5,000 to $15,000 a year on the table every single year, very routinely. I talk to people every single week almost that this exact thing is happening. And I love it that we can help them, but I really wish they'd come to us earlier, because then we could help them to make sure that doesn't happen. Because by the time they come to us, a lot of time people have already missed out on a few years worth of performance. They've flushed $30,000 down the drain. Doesn't it make more sense to just pay some money to invest and work with a coach who can help you to avoid those mistakes? I think a lot of people realize that, but I wish that people didn't have to spend and waste money in order to learn that lesson the hard way. And so this video is my call to action to you, that if you're looking to invest in short-term rentals and you're thinking about doing it yourself, I would just ask yourself, is it possible that you could overspend on that property by $10,000, $20,000, $50,000 because you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what the property's worth. The reality is, for a lot of properties, depending on the purchase price you're aiming for, that's only a 1% overpayment. You're only overpaying for the property by 1 or 2 or 3%, and it's tens of thousands of dollars. So the reality is, for most people, even myself included, that's why I trust Riley with that side of things, because he's been doing this for years and years, and he's done countless deals. And it takes actually having that expertise and that experience, that track record, to be able to make sure that you're not overpaying, or that you're not negotiating the way that you should. You want to make sure you get the best possible deal. So just think about it. Is that possible? Right? And then add to it that, maybe you buy the wrong property and you get a property that cash flows at 5% instead of 15%. Well, that's compounding every single year. That means it's going to be slower for you to buy the next property. It means it's going to be more challenging. It's going to be more headache for you. Is it possible that you're going to do that? Yeah, probably. And that's going to cost you probably $10,000, $20,000 every single year, year over year. That adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars over the lifetime of that investment. And then is it then possible that you would have a hard time optimizing performance, that you maybe wouldn't perform as well as you could, and that you'd leave 5, 10, 15% on the table? Well, again, that's thousands of dollars a year that you're leaving on the table, that literally in just a few minutes a week, if you knew what buttons to push, what levers to pull, you could get an extra $5, $10, $15,000 a year coming in. It's just a total no-brainer. And then another mistake I see people making all the time is that they hire the wrong property management company. And this is almost one of the worst ones, because they finally made it to the finish line. They've got the property, they get it set up, and they work with a property management company that does a bad job. Right? The property management company is now leaving money on the table. So not only are you paying them every single month a percentage of your revenue, but you're paying them that percentage so that they can underperform, so that they can cause more headaches for you, so they can not get you good reviews on your listing. I see this happening all the time. And the reality is, I've worked with 650 or more property management companies. I've run my own property management company. That's what allows me to be able to screen and vet and find the best property management company. Because the difference between the best and the second best in your area is, again, probably going to equate to thousands of dollars every single year. Not to mention if you pick one of the worst property management companies in your area, and that's going to be even more expensive. So there's just so many different points at which you can lose so much money in real estate investing, because we're playing with big numbers here. And that's what I think people just forget about, right? Is sure, you might only be investing $50,000, $70,000, $100,000 into the down payment, but we're talking about an asset that's valued at $500,000, $600,000, $1 million, right? And so there's so much opportunity to make small mistakes that will add up to really, really large dollar amounts. It's easy to make tens of thousands of dollars worth of mistakes when you're buying a $500,000, $1 million asset and you're expecting that to produce $100,000, $200,000 a year in revenue. There's all kinds of opportunity for money to be lost or left on the table. So take this as a cautionary tale. If you're going to get into Airbnb investing, do it the right way. It's not easy if you're just getting started, doing it all on your own, figuring out through trial and error. Reinventing that wheel is not something I would recommend doing. Again, like, I practice what I preach. I wouldn't be saying this if I didn't actually apply this in my own life. I went and managed other people's properties to learn the ins and outs of Airbnb, became a world-leading expert in it before I went and put my hard-earned money into actually investing. And even when I did that, I teamed up with Riley, who has this experience in real estate investing, so we could combine that knowledge. And it's that combined knowledge that we now use when we're mentoring people and showing them how to invest successfully in Airbnb and short-term rentals. Guys, just want to take a quick break here to say that for those of you watching who want to build cash flow and long-term wealth by purchasing Airbnbs and short-term rental properties, there's a link in the description right down below for a free training that'll walk you through my exact strategy for investing successfully in Airbnbs. Now, if you're not ready to actually buy properties and you want to get started managing other people's properties on Airbnb the same way I got started and build a full-time income managing other people's properties, there's actually another free training linked in the description down below as well that'll be a really great fit for you. So whether you want to invest in short-term rental properties and actually build amazing cash flow and long-term wealth by acquiring the assets, buying the properties themselves, or you're looking to earn a full-time income managing other people's properties on Airbnb, we've got some awesome trainings that are linked in the description down below that'll definitely help you out. When you sign up for the trainings, we're also going to send you a few other tools and resources completely for free just to help you get started. Again, the links to sign up are in the description down below, and both trainings and all of the tools are completely free. So make sure to register for the trainings, links in the description down below. So just think about that and consider, if you're investing in short-term rentals, is it really worth the headache? Is it really worth the frustration? Is it really worth the cost of doing it on your own and making those mistakes? Because the reality is, short of working with someone who's already been there and done that and getting that expertise from them, getting the tools, the training, the resources, the guidance from them, there's really not much you can do to avoid those mistakes entirely. You can go and educate yourself, and I put 2 new videos out every single week on YouTube that's completely free for people to use. And I highly recommend that you use these tools. They're amazing tools, and this training is incredibly valuable, and I pride myself on that. But what you really want is someone to be there looking over your shoulder. If this is your first time doing it, you want someone there looking over your shoulder. If you're trying to do something you've never done before, if you're trying to grow your portfolio in a way that you've never done before or optimize it to new heights, you want someone to be able to give you that tailored advice. The reality is, any of these YouTube videos that I make or that anyone else make are inherently general in nature. I'm trying to make a video that appeals to the most people, that can address the most common things that apply to everyone. I can't sit here and make a video for just one person and analyze their one property and hold their hand through that process. So that one-on-one support is just not something you're going to get from YouTube, from research, from going around on Google, on the internet, figuring that stuff out on your own. And the challenge is that the devil is in the details with these things. You can make or lose tens of thousands of dollars on some of those nuanced things. So I just think it pays massive, massive dividends. I know it pays massive, massive dividends to work with a coach who can hold your hand. And that's what you really want, is you don't want just some one size fits all, lesson module of like a bunch of YouTube videos all in one place, because that doesn't accomplish it either. You need one-on-one coaching, you need support. And that's exactly what we do, is we help people one-on-one, we hold their hand. So if that's something that you're looking for and you're interested in investing in Airbnbs and short-term rentals and doing it successfully and having literally a team of successful investors holding your hand and showing you the ropes every step of the way so that your success is virtually guaranteed, then check out the link. Let me know. Get in touch with our team. Reach out to us, because we would love to help you. This is what we do. It's what we love to do, is helping other people be successful in this space. And I make videos all the time talking about how incredibly successful you can be with this and how impactful it can be. And I get to see every single day people posting in our community saying that they've got super stats, that their return on investment is incredible, that they're able to quit their full-time job, that they've replaced their income entirely, that they have more freedom to spend time with their family, more flexibility in their day-to-day. All these incredible things that can be created by investing in short-term rentals, in Airbnbs. And so I'm a big, big advocate, and you can see that in all the videos I post. And I want to be rational about it. I want us to do it the right way, because as much as there is this incredible upside, there's also downside if you don't know what you're doing and don't do it the right way. And the worst thing to see is people that have that downside realize that, saved up tens of thousands of dollars, $100,000, worked really hard for years to save that money up, and then they go and invest it, and they make a mistake that sets them back another 5, 10, 15 years. And now it's going to take longer for them to retire. It's going to take longer for them to hit their goals. It's going to take longer for them to have something that they can actually pass along to their kids. And they may never do it. They may get out of the market because they think there's just no way to do it because they did it wrong the first time. So be intelligent, be a good investor, and do this the right way. Whether it's me you work with or someone else, I just highly, highly recommend getting that guidance that's going to show you the ropes so you can avoid any of those mistakes and ultimately reach your goals a whole lot faster. So I hope this video is really helpful. I hope this helps even just one person to avoid some of those fatal mistakes in their investing. And if you want to work with me and you want to work with my team and have us be those guides that are going to kind of shepherd you through the whole process, then just click the link down below, check out our free training, get in touch. We would love to work with you and we would love to help you. All that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got value from it. If you did, press the like button, hit like on this video. It really does help me out with getting these videos in front of more people. And this one especially, I want to get in front of as many people as possible. So just make sure you hit that like button, give the video a thumbs up so more people can see this and avoid those mistakes. And also, if you're new here and you have not yet subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button here so you can stay up to date with the tuna videos we do post every single week that are going to help you to perform really well on Airbnb. So with all that being said, thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.